that aspect of the story is just pure propaganda. But they're saying that other boats had survivors, and that Pete Hegseth, and to be fair, to quote this exactly, that in September, Pete Hegseth said, nope, no one survived, kill them all. And that was an order, which would have been an illegal order. I agree. If he said that, that is an illegal order. And yes, it is punishable as an act of war. That is true. And it is also part of the Navy's tradition, as well as well, it's not even unstated, it is a fact. Every Navy in the world, if they sink your boat, they will take survivors, except for U-boats. Not U-boats, submarines. Submarines won't do that. Submarines don't take survivors because they can't. And whether they're surfaced or not, they don't have the carrying capacity, they don't have the facilities to take on prisoners or rescued individuals. They can't do it. So submarines are internationally understood. They don't take survivors because they really can't take survivors. But other than that, every naval vessel of every nation in the world takes survivors. It is naval tradition going back to the origination of navies in the first place. Every navy abides by that rule. Yes, we'll blow you up, we'll get into a war, we'll blow up your ship and sink you, but if you survived that, we will take you as a survivor. You're a prisoner of war, you're captured, you're whatever, but you are taken. Because everyone who's in the Navy wants to be saved if they're in that position. If the next time you lose, you want the other guys to come save your survivors, just like you saved their survivors. It is naval tradition, if an unwritten rule, and I believe it is explicitly a rule, both in the what is it? Not the Nuremberg. It is a rule in UN international law. So Geneva Conventions. That's what I'm saying. It's part of the Geneva Convention, as I understand. So yes, if Pete Hegseth said, kill all survivors, no one would, that would be not only an illegal order, no one would do that. They wouldn't abide by that law. They would do the exact opposite. There is no captain, no general, no captain, no admiral that would tell his Navy sailors to just let people die in the middle of an ocean. They wouldn't do it. Maybe a submarine. Again, submarines are unique. Other than submarines, and even then I think they would try, but other than submarines, I cannot see any vessel, American or any other, that would not try and pick up survivors. And more importantly, and here's the part that I think is very important about this. The power of a naval captain is not like a military landlocked army captain. There's a big difference. A naval captain is the equivalent of a colonel. They are just under the power of a general. They are massively powerful. You are the captain of a ship. You are a powerhouse. You are the ultimate power on that ship, something that many civilians don't understand. If you are the captain of the ship, you are God on that ship. The only person who can command above you is basically the admiral or the president of the United States, if you get a direct order. There is no one else on the ship that you would have a different, a stronger overriding answer. Whoever's the captain, unless an admiral showed up on your ship, if they were allowed to come onto the ship, they would then become the commander of the ship. That would be the only way that the captain of the ship doesn't have ultimate power, because he has his direct commander there present. But if you're on a ship and you've got a captain, he runs that ship. There is no way that captains, with all of their power, and admirals, who the captains answer to, the admirals, in finding out about this breach of naval tradition, this written or unwritten law of naval warfare, they would not stand for this. You wouldn't need to worry about whether or not there would be so many leaks of this information. There would be instantaneously, this would get through the entire naval structure, and there would be leaks to government and to every news agency you could name, both named individuals and unnamed individuals, telling you that this happened. But this has supposedly happened in September. Here we are just about to be in December, and they can't name any source, nor can they say there's an unnamed source. It's just a feeling. This isn't real. This isn't real. They are propagandizing you. They are weaponizing you on your lack of knowledge about naval traditions. And if there's anyone who ever served in the Navy and they want to tell me, Mike, you're completely wrong. I'm a Marine. I get, when I want to go, when Marines go from one base to another base, the Navy transports us and we do security on naval vessels. So if I am misunderstanding naval tradition, if I am misunderstanding the orders of a captain on a ship, and someone in the Navy wants to correct me on that and say, Mike, no, you misunderstand, they would absolutely let someone die in the middle of an ocean that was a survivor of them blowing up the ship. Please correct me on that, because I'm not aware of that. To my knowledge and my expertise and all information I have been able to gather, that's not true. So this isn't true, because the admirals, even the Joint Chiefs would speak up on this. They would make this known. This would not be a secret. And at this moment, we're being told it's a secret, no one will tell you, and there's no source whatsoever. That's a feeling. That's propaganda. That's how you know, or at least that's why you should doubt that this is true. The left is pushing this story. The right has no idea what they're talking about, and there's no source. You should doubt this first. Until there's evidence, this is a lie. It is pure political maneuvering. It is meant to abuse your lack of knowledge of the Navy and its traditions. Throw this out the window. Demand that the left and all the news media, that they get a source, a named source proving this. Documentation, a named source, some form of evidence. And if they cannot do that, stop pushing this, because it helps no one. It divides our military and our nation. It enrages our enemies and our allies alike, making them believe that we would do something that violates hundreds of years of naval tradition. That does not help us. They are hurting America by pushing a lie. They are hurting our nation everywhere. This is endangering Americans' lives.